Well, this is gonna be fun. Let's have subtitles, English. Confirm. You played the Stanley Parable before? No. I, in fact, have not. Until the computer is barely visible. Let's just have it like that, because I can still see it, but I want to have it like that. The current time. I bet. I can enter the current time. It is... (1:49) It's not AM. Confirm. There we go. Okay. Alright, chat. You ready? Here you go. Begin the game. The end is never. The end is never. The end is never.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, I can control that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Oh?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
You can't jump. Yeah, I figured that out. I can crouch though. Get my first trophy. Yay!
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Alright, chat, we're gonna jiggle the store knob as many times as we can. Never mind. I cannot jump no matter how many times I press the jump button. Alright, alright, there we go. Gosh darn it. Alright.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Uh-oh. Which one's my left? Nah, kidding. Yeah, sorry guys, I have the flu right now, so I'm gonna be coughing a whole lot.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh. What is hot? Whoa. Unpause it.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Alright.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Wait, hold on. Wait, what if there was anything more? Oh. Should have thought about that before I pressed the button.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
It's telling me to. So I might as well. It's telling me to. That means it's important. So I press the button. Or press it.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Yeah, I do. What in the world? Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't even notice this existed. I was just trying to see if I could jump. I could.
Now
Cameras.
The monitors
Oh,
jumped to life.
fired.
Their true nature revealed.
Fired.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yeah.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Never.
For he would dismantle the controls once and for
Facility
all.
power? Oh yeah, that's just over there. No, I'm not gonna let this slide. I'm turning this off. Forever. Guys? Does anyone else see anything?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
True.
Was it over?
No.
Yes.
that
he had
is?
won.
Oh.
He had
Yeah,
defeated the
this
machine.
this is
Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments
short
away.
game.
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
We're gonna touch grass, chat.
And Stanley was happy.
Is that it? Beat the game. Easy. Oh, we're back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
But
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nah.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else could, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Who?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who are you trying to use against me? What is in this room?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Ooh.
To reach out.
Okay.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something.
No, I'm not gonna
Come
follow
inside.
you.
Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
I have nothing else to do.
Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
other option.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Wait.
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Get off the screen. Please don't give that message to my audiences. Please don't do that ever again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Hold on. Alright, sorry, one of my friends texted me.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Yeah, if only you wish that was true.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Yeah.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right?
Yeah, what were you thinking?
What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute?
Stanley Parable. Playing the Stanley Parable today.
Now, let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okay. That's a car. Oh, this way. Okay, you left the chat. Okay.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Let's wander that far off against the track again.
Co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Yeah, it is kind of
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh my gosh. Oh god.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No,
Uh-oh.
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh.
This is new.
Everything should be...
There's only supposed to be these 2 doors.
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
Did you
move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley, let's find the story.
Wait, hold on. Which way? Which way? Which way? Front left, front right, top right, bottom right, top left, bottom left. Which one? Which one?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been
Okay,
on. I can promise you there definitely was a story.
Which one? Unless you're not here.
Here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not? All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. What? Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Yes.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Yay!
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is.
Yeah,
I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Please do.
All right, I've got a solution.
Yes,
this time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Whoop. Hey, no computers on.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
Oh, it's on the wall.
Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation
I need to
of
follow
the
the
nature of
Stanley
life
Parable
itself?
Adventure Line now.
Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Oh, okay.
cut the music. Go
Oh.
back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very
Oh,
important
no.
later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't
Alright,
want to miss
Rudy.
anything.
You gotta remember this too, okay? You gotta help me. Okay? There's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 leaves on that little spot right there. Get it. Alright, thank you. You just gotta remember exactly this. You just gotta take a photo of this right here. I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, good enough. Alright.
Wait, what? We're back at the office?
What?
No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable,
that's where it
right?
starts.
The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Alright, here we go. We'll just go this way. Nice. What?
No, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it.
Whoa! He did not just say that. Let's follow the line again, guys. Let's follow the line.
What, Stanley? I
What?
say forget the adventure line. What's it ever
Why?
done for us? We're
It took
intelligent
us
people,
somewhere.
right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting.
Deep
daring,
story
mysterious.
mode?
Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable.
We can make
Why
our
don't we
own
simply start
story
wandering in, well, I don't know.
Whoa.
How about this direction?
Where? Oh, okay, this way? Okay.
Now, yes, this is exciting.
Check out
Just
story
me and
mode,
Stanley
guys.
forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
Hold on, did we?
Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be,
What?
Stanley, I'm ready for it.
What? Guys, I think my brain just exploded.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No
But the
lines or
line's
monitor
good.
rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Oh. What? Then I should not listen to him, though. Yeah, you did.
Ah, a choice.
But don't we get
We
to
get
figure
make
him
a
out
decision.
soon?
From here, the story is in our control.
Don't we get to figure out who he is, though, soon? Also, I should not be talking over the narrator. I'm gonna talk now. Alright, yeah. Alright. I'm not gonna talk with the narrator.
How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn...
Alright, hold on. You insist I will? Then I'll look at it. I'll look at it. I'm looking. Oh, I actually like that. I actually like that logo. I actually like that a lot. That actually looks like a grand logo. Like,
means
it's
that
actually
our
good.
destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So
Lord.
starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead
Rudy,
us
just
to
so you know,
where we're
I'm not
going?
gonna be able to play
And
VR
since
for like
the
a
answer is
long
clearly
time
yes,
because
then by all accounts,
my
the door
Oculus
on
died
the
not that
right
long
is the
ago.
correct one.
I'm gonna play with one of my
Another
friends at
victory for
3,
logic. Come,
maybe
Stanley,
for like an hour
our
or 2.
destiny
So, and then my headset's
awaits.
probably gonna die. Wow, you said go right? You figured this out. We're supposed to go right. You knew it before he did. Yo. That- let's read this, shall we? Deviate from the maintenance room, end up in the mountain room. Narrator restarts the game. First restart. 2 doors. Second restart. Dead end. Dead end. Third restart. Adventure line. Music. They both lead to the same place. Fourth restart. Fifth restart.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
Wow.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget?
Third person? Hello.
Well, what if I don't want to forget?
Most people I've ever had while I'm streaming.
Here on this thing.
Stanley.
Well, who consulted me?
Nobody.
Why do I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped.
What? Whoa!
Does that mean, did we do it?
What
did we
was
break the cycle?
that?
The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us?
All right.
Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree?
I guess, yeah.
I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're
He
always
is.
saying
He
that
is
life is
breaking the
about the
canon
journey
apart.
and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
Yes.
Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh, my ears. What was that? No. That's scary. Okay, I hold on. Let's
When Stanley came
Alright,
to a
Rudy,
set
if
of
you're
two
still
open
here,
doors,
I want you to
he entered
determine
the door
where
on
we're
his
gonna
left.
go. If you're still here, Rudy, determine. Left or right? Right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again. Then it came back, and lingered for a minute or two. Now it's only half there, just a kind of, tingle. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I'm not taking that elevator over there anymore. Because that was the adventure thing that we did already. So, yeah. This way? Or this way? Actually, I should probably go this way, because I already did the other way.
So he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Well, what if I went backwards?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
You're still here. It said you left, bruh. Nah. You did not just put a poop emoji in my chat.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, okay, it's just a red light. We're fine.
But
More
Stanley just couldn't do it.
Red light.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
Oh, who dropped
and in
their
such
coffee?
a competitive
Yo, is this
economy,
the? Yo, this
why
can be
had he
backroom
taken
vibes.
that
Hold on.
risk?
You
All
see this?
because he believed
Backroom
everyone
vibes.
had
Except for like
vanished.
ignore like that grayish
His boss
part.
would think he
Just
was
like imagine
crazy.
if that was yellow.
And then something
Backwards.
occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began
Like
to make
hear me
other
out.
strange
Hear me out.
observations.
Like right here.
For example,
except
why
for like the
couldn't
gray.
he see his feet when he looked
Imagine
down?
it's like the background.
Why did
It's like the
doors
background.
close
Sorry.
automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to
Alright, so
himself,
like
this
right
is
here,
all
like
too
imagine if that
strange.
gray
This
like
can't be
wasn't
real.
there. It's like the
And at
background.
last,
It's like
he
the
came
background.
to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
Alright, like imagine if that gray wasn't there and like it was just like this.
To have
It's just like the
finally
background.
found an
It's
answer,
the background.
an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake
Alright,
up
bro,
soon.
really, just like
I'll have to
imagine
go
if that
back
gray
to my
wasn't there. It's like
boring
the
real-life
background.
job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a
Like
magical
imagine if that
starfield,
gray wasn't
and it
there. It's
too
just like the
appeared.
background.
It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was
Imagine if
amazed
this
he
gray
hadn't
wasn't
asked
here. It's just like
himself
the background.
sooner.
It's like the background.
Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange.
Like imagine
I'm
if this gray
dreaming
wasn't
about
here.
a
It's just like the
voice
background. It's
describing
just like the
me,
background.
thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course,
Alright, bro,
this was
imagine if
not a
that gray
dream.
wasn't there. It's
How
just
could it
like
be?
the background.
Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond
imagine
a
if this
doubt,
gray was
that
here.
this
It's just
was
like the
in
background.
fact a
It's
dream.
just like the background.
Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
Alright, bro, imagine if
He
that
would
gray was
prove
there.
it.
It's just like the background.
He would
It's just
prove
like the
that he
background.
was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just
imagine if
someone
that
tell
gray
me
was
I'm
there. It's just
real.
like the
I
background.
must be
It's just
real.
like the
I must be.
background.
Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I?
This is kind of like the level. It's kind of like this level from the backgrounds. It's
And
called
everything
Run.
went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
That's the 20th time you said that. What do you mean, bro? What are you on about?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Crying emoji, bro, what'd I do? Get out. Bro, I'm just playing a game, bro.
Yet there was not a single person
bro,
here either.
crying face?
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping him coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs
what are you talking about,
to
bro?
his
Stanley's
boss's
always
office.
been living, bro. Stanley's always been living. Alright, what you doing
Stepping
in here?
into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover
What's it
not
got,
an
like,
indication
2?
of any human life. What could it mean?
5,
Stanley wondered
8?
aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's
4
desk.
people in chat?
What could its
4?
purpose be? In
Yo,
fact,
hello.
this keypad guarded the terrible secret
Snap.
that lay buried
Crazy.
below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I bet. Oh no, bro, I wanted to go check that out. Dang it. Yeah, it's trying to kill me. Just zap
Stanley
me.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read
Nah.
Mind Control Facility.
Not kidding, we'll do the escape one next. I have to do something here first.
The lights rose
Alright, here
on
we
an
go.
enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
Platform there,
Stanley
platform
thought
there.
to himself. Did he have
And
the
then we an
strength
elevator
to find
upwards.
out?
Bro, everybody left. Except for like Rudy, bro. Rudy's the only like true one here.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore
See
the
that one
number
up there,
of an
like that
employee
one
in the
up
building.
there? That's like,
Stanley's
hold on,
co-workers.
wait for the switch
The
back to
lives
reverse.
of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this
You
place
see that one up
where
there? It's like
freedom
blue
meant
or something.
nothing.
It's like glitched. So weird. Wait, what was it? Yeah, here you can see it better. So odd.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
It will
for
never,
he
ever do
would
that.
dismantle the controls once and for all.
No, never. Uh-oh.
Oh, Stanley.
I just pressed the wrong button.
Activate the controls, did you?
I pressed the
After
wrong
they kept
button,
you enslaved
chat.
all these years, you go and you try to take
Not
control
kidding.
of the machine
I
for
did it on
yourself.
purpose.
Is that what you wanted? Control?
They're gonna listen to me now.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating
he's just gonna kill the entire...
How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now.
I'm gonna die.
Your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
2.
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let
When
it
the
burn
world's
to a
3.
crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
Uh-oh.
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy.
Yeah, this guy's putting me in my place.
You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. no ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after. All of his
Man, where's all
coworkers
my
were gone.
coworkers?
What could it mean?
So odd.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, I'll go in.
New content? What does that mean, new content?
I don't know. Let's figure it out. Alright. Take a look. Hey! Oh.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
No problem.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers.
Oh.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
So cool.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Me too.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Oh, am I supposed to press something?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Okay, I'll turn around.
All right, let's see it. The jump circle?
Jump, guys. Let's jump in the jump circle. That felt amazing. Let's keep my jumps, guys. Let's keep my jumps. No.
Is
Not
that
kidding.
it?
1,
Surely
2,
that's not all the new content.
3,
there has to be something
5.
else, right?
Easy. Jump circle. I found the new zone. Let's go. We all love the jump circle. Alright, what's in here, guys?
Goodness. Another elevator.
That
Stanley,
car?
I have to say,
Nah, bro, what car?
initial
What
impressions
car?
of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this not part of some exciting new content? If this is
What
new
car?
content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion.
Whoa.
You could put that on the box. The Stanley
I've seen
Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be
Real.
something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Yeah, me too.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason
Real.
other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's
You
gone
might as
into
well
it. In
leave.
fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my
Yeah,
fault, Stanley.
my headset's
I
dead.
built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It
How long
could
have I
never
been
have lived
streaming
up to
for?
such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time
1
together
hour.
like always.
I've been playing
What
this
do you
game for
say,
1
friend?
hour. How have I been playing this game for an hour?
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Okay, yeah, because over there looks less fun. Yeah, I want to see it. We got in the vent, bruh. We should, I'm venting. I'll shut up. I'll shut up. I vented.
Okay, you remember
I
how
need to
cheap and
reply.
unsatisfying the new
Oh.
Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away
Real.
here where the game's developers won't find
Wait,
it.
hold on.
Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone.
Wow,
It's
looks
where I've been
nice out
storing
here.
all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life
Yo.
whenever I want.
Way better.
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind
Whoa.
you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Whoa. Well, you can get reviewer? How? I already got that ending.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the
You
Stanley
have to send me a
Parable.
picture of
Like
it
this
so I can see
stunning
it.
triumph of
Get it?
games journalism. 10 out of
We'll
10
try.
from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all.
Oh no.
It isn't even the Stanley Parable
Yeah, it is.
anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Alright, thanks for the image. I'll look at it in just a moment. Yet again, I'm sure you know. I'm playing this. What is down here? Oh, it's the maintenance zone. Never mind. La 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 la. Oh, don't even know.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
Four
The Stanley
people?
Parable
Welcome.
is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable,
Hey, I don't
surprising, and
normally
rewarding
ask,
choices
but
I've
if,
ever been confronted with in a
I
game.
don't normally ask
9
any of
out
this,
10
but if you
doesn't
guys
get
are
Stanley.
new viewers,
The
could
game
you
was
guys,
perfect. It didn't
maybe just
need
one of you
anything
guys,
else.
because one
It
of you guys
didn't
just
need
subscribe.
new content.
Please.
All they had to do was transport it in
Desperate.
pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
So if you aren't already, I just need one person. How do I leave this room?
These were simpler times, Stanley.
Oh, okay, down here.
But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny.
I am.
With
That's
his
not playing
humor
this
and
and
dialogue
streaming
proving
it.
to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Real. That's not possible, bro. My charger for my headset, where I am right now, it's so slow that it can't even charge while it's plugged in. It just
Okay,
slowly
let's see what this one
depletes.
says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
No.
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did.
Unless you open a door, I ain't going nowhere.
Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure.
Why is it only
Like I
raining
let
in
these people
what?
Perhaps the
Not
Stanley
raining
Parable
anymore?
isn't
What
quite
in
as
the
sterling
world?
as I always remembered.
It's muddy. I hate the squish sound. It's just the squish, squish, squish.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well,
it
yes.
finally sung.
Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment surely couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
So how long has this been down here?
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot.
No.
I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more
I haven't
listening
played this
to me
before.
rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this.
You could always watch a whole different video and stream,
or
so
what have you, and therefore
find
by
this
becoming
fun.
it is, so on and so forth.
If you don't like
until
it, bro, you can go watch a
we
different
all
video.
until the end of time, at which time everything all at once. So now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much, and it can't be just yet. No, until 245. But the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is simply a... series of
Alright, I'm
choices
back.
made by the person
Okay.
who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again.
Okay.
I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. How do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
Yes.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How
Well, there
else
was.
would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere?
A porthole?
A sufficiently large crack in the wall?
No.
I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button to go anywhere other than the skip,
skip.
button. There was a door.
If you say skip
before,
on one more
wasn't
time, I'm
there?
gonna press
I
it.
swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment, and I'm going to try to find us a door. I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will find a way, I promise. You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely. The end is never the end, 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 is never the All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you. You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
I knew that fern was important.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what
shut up.
exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the
Lots of
game will
new
sort of
stuff.
naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Here we go.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
What did you say? Hold on, I have to pull up YouTube. So I had to close out YouTube because I had to open up that tab that was there. Whatever it was. You are not gonna spam emojis. It's only for a minute. You can wait a minute. Oh, I need this bucket. Give me the bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting.
Open up.
You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
He did not just see it.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Which one? Which one, chat? Which one? Left or right? Left or right? The happy birthday, the happy 12th birthday stepniece, or Get Well Someday balloon? I mean, they're both balloons, but which one? Alright, I'm seeing no responses. Just say left or right, bruh. This is left, which is the Get Well, and the right is the happy birthday. Left to right. That's what I thought.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on. Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes, you see, you'll come... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen. What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet? You know what, Stanley? I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Okay, I've been to N5QZ B2. 3. That's pretty much it. I do not want to go to E. I want to... I don't want to go to any of these. I want to go to the button that says the name of the player. I want to see it. I want to hear it. I doubt it knows.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Oh, okay.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust.
Okay, wow.
Do you feel it deeply?
I'm
Are
truly
you really,
Jim right now.
truly Jim right now?
Yep.
If so, then please step forward. Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush!
Wow,
That was you!
this can really
The
said my
button
name,
described
guys.
you.
Wow.
Do it again, do it again.
Oh my. Okay.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time.
It
If
does.
this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth
That's
the
not actually my
money.
name, guys.
Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm
Like-
too emotionally drained from all of this personal
It's actually
validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim.
Jim.
I'm
Jim.
putting the Jim button
Jim.
away.
Jim.
Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who
Jim.
you actually
Jim.
are.
Jim. Jim.
No, not the gym button.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Okay.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Whoa. Oh.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
No. Huh. I don't know what they're talking about.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Great! Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Okay, and I guess we're back in the hole now. Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I've prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press the teleport button again, so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to hit the bottom. Yes, I know, I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem.
Oh!
Look,
I probably should look at that.
Heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on.
Yeah.
I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Alright. Let's go back out here. Where to? Been there. Alright, we just need to go to the exit. Where's the exit? Okay, this way. Well, we did everything.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yeah. Saw everything.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
Looks like
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic
if you could
of
go
the
down there and
first
play
game.
on the first
I
one.
wanted
The first one
fans
actually
to love
good.
it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own.
I mean,
they
probably.
would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With
Probably
care
with
for the
the
vision
bucket.
and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Guys? Yeah, I just get the game for free. I don't know, but that actually kind of looks kind of scary. I like it though.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
No, I'm good.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it? Stanley picked up the bucket.
I love this bucket, man.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it
We're
seems.
about to get
This is
timed
how
out for
low
an
the
hour.
broom closet has sunk that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket.
Actually, you know what,
Stanley,
pal?
I never liked this broom
Just gonna
closet for a
remove that
variety of
comment, man.
reasons. But even this is worse
Back,
than I
what
had
happened?
imagined. And wait,
One of my friends
now
just
the
said
broom
that British
closet
was
has the
better than
gall to
American.
imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep. Coming to a staircase,
Yes, they are.
Stanley and the
Me and my
walked
bucket are true
upstairs to the
friends.
boss's office.
You missed a whole lot, bruh. I know I have a bucket. What's this? I didn't even notice.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried.
Rudy, you still here?
So, I implore you to
I
savor
understand that you said you're
each
back,
and
but, like,
every
you,
moment
like,
you
really
come
back?
across one of these beautiful figurines.
Okay. Whatever.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Oh, my dog! My dog came and visited me in my gaming room basement.
The elevator raced
Hi,
down,
Lily.
plummeting
Hi.
towards an unknown
Hi,
fate.
baby girl.
It would be
Hi,
all
baby
Stanley could do to
puppy.
keep himself together,
How you
if not for the
doing?
bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Alright, as I said, I just pet my dog. That's what that was.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No, no, no. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out. All of his co-workers were gone.
I'm not picking up
What could
that
it mean?
stupid bucket.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
No.
missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Alright, chat, I think I'm gonna end it here. Bye-bye.